where people can post like images, right? So it might be helpful to have like a Zen community meme channel, where people can kind of post up memes and images and gifs and stuff that anybody can create. It might be helpful to have that, you know, floating around our ecosystem so people could promote Zen a little bit more freely.
Right. I mean, my thoughts on, well, I don't know how to call it, but that, like that aspect of it, okay, that what you're alluding to. I would say it's good to give yeah, to create the space and all that. But ultimately, like not, yeah, just for the flow and the ideas and the connections and the creativity, but not like in a way like too official, so that like how to say, you don't when you're in a centralized project, right, everything is very much coordinated, right? So you have a project manager and different departments to the project, you know, graphics, coding, and all that. But there's a coordination, right? And that's that's a big part of what makes like a good product, right? It's coordinated. So what you often see, what we've seen in DeFi decentralized projects, is that there'll be a place, but there's the lack of coordination, and it's kind of it can be a little bit like you know, disorganized, and they're not cohesive, and not really be so helpful in what the objective is. So you'll have these better creators, and you know, that can lead better and all that, and that's kind of a value. So it's good that it's open, but it's good also that things like people gravitate and create sort of teams where things are well coordinated, and that kind of happens of itself. It's like it's not just you join a group or you join a certain something and now you fit in a slot, because it might not be the case. Like I was suggesting that Joe Blau, like you know, hopefully, I think you were there actually when he was giving ideas, and I had just mentioned like we need to vet things, but it's great like that he's starting. But I really, I put that in the admin, like it would be great if he took something and like just worked like with you, for example, or whatever, like graphics and all that, and there's a coordination. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, 100%. And I definitely see the importance of uh you know, correctly putting, you know, the official things into its camp and the unofficial things into its camp, but yet have a community vetting, not, you know, in you know, in both ways.
Right, exactly. Because I remember there was this platform vaguely. This is, I don't know, a year or so ago, and it was a NFT. It was when NFTs were really hot and beginning, and everybody was wanting to do something. And it was a platform, DeFi platform for NFTs, and anybody could contribute and put the NFTs. And it was just like the devs were obviously working on the marketplace aspect of it and the DApp. Then the NFT market came, and it looked honestly awful. Okay, it was terrible. Like, I understand it's a free market and all that, but there was like no cohesion, right? It was like it was like NFTs of cartoons with NFTs of basically pictures taken. It was just like any which way. It was not and there was that lack of cohesion. So it wasn't even, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. Doesn't really help anyone so much in the end, right? Even though people are participating, that lack of coordination and just So I would tend to kind of leave it to, like, yes, the channels and the means of communication and all that, but like let people find it of them own accord. Because a lot of people are going to be enthused to do it, and they can do it, but it doesn't mean that they're the best to do that thing, and they have to find their counterparts, and also to communicate with them and have the means of communicating and compatibility and all that stuff. Like we already have that. Like we already have Telegram, we all have social networks and all the tools that you and I can coordinate, right? We already have that. Like we can talk on Telegram or whatever. We don't need to set that up per se, but this the social media, that's definitely a big deal because then like you can find the contacts, because on that social media, I'm guessing there'll be links, there'll be possibilities that people can see how to reach them on Telegram if they choose to, right? I would think, like not just closed off to that single media, and there might not even be the capacity to chat through that. That might just be a profile, right? So there won't be necessarily the messaging system, but at least the profiling system. So now they can maybe, find the links to all these tools that we already have and which are great.
Yeah, and then at the very least, all those connections can start to be formed, and you get a little bit more of that network effect.
Totally. Like once you fill in this profile and you've got you're part of the community, right? Like they know that person has gone at least through that, at least has some Zen, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually
Yep.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'll tell you after. It's fine. I just off topic.
Well, so speaking of communities and crypto, there's certain communities that definitely make a bigger splash than others, at least on crypto Twitter, um, and perform really well. But I actually have a friend um, who is big in the Banano community. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because their community, they are unabashedly a meme coin, right? I wouldn't recommend it to anybody in that as a investment or anything like that. But for the for being a meme coin, they have an excellent community, and they have a lot of tools built around it and very playful things. Um, to the extent where they have like a messaging board where you send like a little bit of banana, and then you can, type a message, almost like spout it out to the world like Twitter. They have this other thing called Jungle TV where it's anybody can post a YouTube video into the platform, but they pay banana for it. And those kind of things I could I could really see being vital later down the road for Zen and a Zen community, because imagine um, people burning Zen tokens in order to have their video played on like a Zen TV platform. So I think there's a lot of cues from that community that I would like to see implemented into the Zen world. So I just
Right.
wanted to go on that ramble.
Well, I mean, look, what it really I think boils down to in terms of wanting to be an active participant, not just in the minting and all that, but in like actually development and use case development. If that's like what you feel to do, I would just say, uh, just be there and stay, you know, present and observant and watchful and open ears and open mind and always gathering the best of the best of all that you gather, and hashing that out. And like, don't worry, I would say to anybody that wants to do that, like, don't worry about if the solutions will be found. They will be found. The there's no rush per se. Um, quality is better than quantity or speed of execution in a long-term project. Maybe not a degen project where you got to do everything within 2-week time frame, but this is not the case. And just hang tight and keep going at it, and all the things will fall into place. Basically, just trust in your own judgment, and just keep at it. And everything will work out best, I think, that way, and you'll make the most amount of good connections. And ideas, sometimes they're great one day, but if you give them a little time, they kind of morph, right? They change into something else, and you have to give them that space to kind of evolve. That's my way of looking at it anyway. I'm here, and I'm open to different ideas and communications, and even helping, and joining. But I'm not in a rush, and I'm still just, trustful that everything's going to fall into place. In
Wise,
regards, yeah, does that make
wise
sense to you?
words, honey deals. Yeah. If anything, all these ideas that I throw out into the ether, if there's any other builders, always feel free to contact me. Any other creatives, things like that, and uh, we can start those slow and steady building projects together. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that they can reach out to me with that kind of stuff, because that really gets my juices flowing.
Yeah. I think generally speaking, there's always exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, the better minds are the most open-minded. They're the most efficient in the sense that they do things properly. They do things in proper order. They see the big picture, and they're going to see things as, if they are the proper minds for Zen, they're going to see things aligned with the Zen. They're going to see it as a community thing, where the objective is to integrate and bring every participant able to participate. And so everything's going to be kind of in line with that. Like, even the project building, the tool that is produced is going to always add options to everybody, and more so possibilities to participate in the ecosystem. I would think, because that's the ethos of it. So those who have the better ideas are going to be aligned with that. So it's kind of like, it's a no-brainer. You just got to keep at working with everybody, and doing whatever you feel you can do the best, and not too much care about the speed or the exact what it is, but more so just about that contributing and being there. And there's so many things to do, right? And it's going to take time. Regards. So here's an idea. I'll give you an idea just in terms of what you showed me there, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So some constructive input. So I would already be thinking, as you're doing this and structuring it, I would already be thinking, you probably maybe have of offering different strokes for different folks. So different, what are they called? The when you click and it changes it's just slipping my mind right now. it changes the look, the color
The
scheme, or
blockies,
different. What?
the blockies.
No, the scheme, the theme. Sorry, not the scheme, the theme, right? The themes. Like, okay, a simple example on Joe Blau's application, you could just click and change the theme on one click, and there was like two options, right?
Ah, yes. Yep. And
See
just
one?
hold on one second there, honey. So, to everyone else in the chat, um, I just sent over some concept development to Honeydeals. Sorry, I couldn't send it to everybody, but it's just some initial ideation of the kind of what we were discussing in earlier chats, where we were talking about some sort of social mechanism where we can, share with between other Zen community members ideas and skills, so that people can kind of meet each other. So um,
Yeah, a
that's what we're
social,
talking
a
about.
Zen profile, right? A Zen profile
Yep,
kind of, right,
yep,
application where, as a Zen user and Zen holder, you can actually, if you choose so, connect your wallet and have your own Zen profile. And it can
that's
be any
right.
wallet, right? Any
Yeah,
of your wallets, a zero out wallet, whatever, no risk or anything. But you could use that to maintain connections or build them.
that's right. I just wanted everybody in the chat to kind of know what we were talking about.
Right. So yeah, like just different strokes for different folks. I'm just throwing that because obviously that's a plus, and people obviously different. So it, like, for example, the colors you're using. If we just speak of the colors, okay,
Hmm.
there's a whole bunch of people that are going to love that color because they love that color, right? But then there's
Right.
others that are into other colors. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that out to keep that in mind. It's kind of an obvious one, but the more the better. It's a lot of work, obviously, but that functionality would be a good plus because you have a whole, especially a project like this, which is about mass adoption. You have a
Yep.
huge diversity, right?
Yeah. No, I love dark mode on all my themes. I totally get you.
Even there's two facets to what you're doing. You're doing the structural, like the skeleton part of it, like the way it's built, the way it's conceived, okay, the information that's displayed and things like that. And then there's the theme in itself. So the themes can vary wildly, like, well, like most, not all applications, like, some applications just have dark mode and light mode, but if you go like on Android or things like that, you have a whole host of themes. So it could be a set of themes eventually. So it could become bigger, and you could like collaborate with more so artists or users to create those sets of themes, and that would just be beautiful, and really, because some people will click a lot with one and less with the others. So
Excellent feedback.
By any chance, did you reach out to Joe Blau about any of those ideas?
No, I think I will. I think he's
Yeah.
the right person to talk to. I almost feel bad because I bombarded him a lot with things that I wanted him to add to the main Zen.fyi site. I was like, oh, can you put this in? Can you put this in? So I hope he doesn't get tired of me.
Well, I mean, at the very least, maybe where he would or could be helpful to have a conversation about is just about what it entails. I mean, he may not necessarily want to do that, and the workload might be like, I don't know, but but at least he should have a clear picture of what entails or what is lacking or what is needed, right? I think a good source of information, yeah,
Yeah,
and
he'd
direct.
be the perfect person to run it by. Yeah, I know you were also talking about the numbers the other day of how many Zen are in the supply as of right now. Um, is there any that you know of visual data sites that kind of show how much Zen is in supply right now and how much Zen is projected to be in the supply, like maybe in a pie chart?
I don't think that's been done. Like it's been so fast and it's moving so quickly. So I haven't heard of anything. Uh,
Best I've been able to that Dune Analytics that through that website that Joe made the what is it Zen.fyi.
what's that? You said that is in. You might be able to find it at Dune Analytics.
Yeah, I was saying the best I've been able to find was that Dune Analytics website that Joe Blau uh, has a link on Zen.fyi. It's
Right.
not there's not like super intricate stuff, but still pretty helpful.
Moon 2 just raised his hand. Maybe he has an answer. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just came in, so I just raised my hand to be unmuted. I apologize.
Okay. I didn't know. Just was coincidental. Okay. Yeah, me too. I mean, in terms of analytics, yeah. Uh, yeah, it's just a question of grabbing the data. I don't know if they have like, yeah, I guess they should have a handle on that data and just running through the numbers. It's kind of easy to look at and see where the gaps are and where the supply, when and where the most of the supply hits the market.
No, I believe the actual Zen team that all of some of those analytics are being worked on to be on that site too. I haven't been on there to see if they've updated anything yet, but such as when are the stakes supposed to be maturing and stuff like that. I think they were going to be working on all of that stuff too.
What link is that? What site is that you're referring to?
I'm just talking about Zen dot network, the actual
Oh, okay.
Zen team.
Yeah,
Right.
Zen.network and then events and charts is you can see what they're progressing on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The other one is accessible through zen.fyi. There's a drop down menu on the right hand of the screen, and at the
Yeah,
bottom it
for
says
doing.
Dune Analytics, and that one's pretty helpful too.
Yeah, I'm loving all these pie charts. That's why I didn't see a pie chart that showed like supply and expected supply. I think that would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it
Um,
would.
because then that would be an interesting figure too, because um it's it's kind of like a guessing game, and some people think it's less, people think it's more of how many people are going to forget or just choose not to um claim their mints.
Right. Yeah. I'm just curious, given all the factors and all the unknowns and all the variables and all the timelines, I wonder how do you compute that? Like, what can you do with that when you know like those specific details? But obviously, it's going to fall within the tokenomics, like the tokenomics we know. Uh, but yeah, I guess I mean just for get an idea. But like in 350 days or so, a lot of supply will hit. Doesn't matter that the it's 12% or whatever. The numbers are so huge, so that's going to be a supply, a hit of supply there, right there.
Huge hit.
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting point because a lot of decision making is going to happen. I'll be curious to see like there's those who are going to go long, and then there's those who are going to be like, maybe I'll take some profit right away. And that's gonna that's gonna create opportunity to gather some, and I think oftentimes people they underestimate, or they don't see, they're blind to the other side of the coin because they're biased by their own perspective. So they're thinking like, oh, I'll sell, and they're thinking that they're not realizing that they're creating the they're feeding the other side, the whales that are accumulating and all that, and then after you're like, oh damn, I shouldn't have sold.
Bound
That'll
to
be
happen.
what's that?
It's bound to happen.
What do you think about do you think the general trends across all 5 chains will kind of be similar to one another? Or do you think the user base will have um, different what strategies isn't the right word, but
I think there'll be different dynamics and different game theory at play, different
yeah,
tactics.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. Yeah. Some chains will likely be more about gains, while other chains will be more about use cases and use case development. And when people have use cases, and it's more so of a monetary exchange than a store of value, it tends to have more people holding just for the use cases, and it just kind of well, it acts as a store of value in a way by the fact that it's being used by people, and there's dApps and there's applications and there's opportunities. So I could see that happening on Polygon easily. Uh, you know, on Avalanche, I don't know exactly. That one's more of a wild card. And on ETH it's very dependent on what happens with ETH. You know, it could start to grow more so, and in a different trajectory all of a sudden, just because of ETH itself, if that were to happen with the ETH.
AVAX is wild. Didn't it like just take off a year or two ago? What's going on with the user base as far as Zen goes with this? What's your take?
Well, what is the? Did you see the numbers lately? I saw the rate in the beginning, but I'm not. I'm not so much focused on the data at this point in time. But did you see the latest numbers where the global rank is at on AVAX?
Yeah, where I looked earlier today, it's at updating. Global rank
Like
is only 360,000. It seems
Okay,
a little
so last
seems just
was
like lopsided
350.
to me compared to everything else for some reason.
Exactly, yeah. And I can see right now because I last time I heard of it, which was quite a while, I think it was over 300,000. I thought it was 350. So if it was 350 and it just did 10,000 more, yeah, it kind of halted
And
there.
it's been like 4 days already. I wonder what's behind that. Because I thought, I mean, I haven't really followed Avalanche at all. I just noticed it on charts, when it was mooning with everything else a year ago or whatever. So just thought if you
Well,
didn't
you
know
know,
if you
if you
had any
think about
thoughts
it,
on that.
if you think about it on the initial days and the launch, like there's a lot of people are, it's a somewhat of a speculation and people are wanting to mint their coins quickly, especially those who are convinced that C rank matters and you want to be the first in. So you have that wave of just speculatory, engagement, and that occurred on all the chains, right? It's like for many, it's like I'm going to get on all the chains. But if you really think about the user adoption aspect and ease of access, and I could easily see how Avalanche will be, you know, lesser than Binance or Polygon or ETH or or maybe even ETH POW because of ETH POW's.
Clearly based on like characteristics of Avalanche, what do you think those are that might slow down the progression as far as Zen goes?
Well, I just don't think it has. It's like I don't think it's a preferred onboarding chain for like new users for like no coiners. I wouldn't see why they would like want to get into crypto and start with Avalanche. I would see far more uh, using Polygon or even something that they've heard about more so like Binance or Ethereum. I don't see, for the new the no corners, right? Whereas those who are already in crypto and have been using Avalanche, I could see why they initially it went quickly because they wanted to take their positions. But now it's going to be more and more about new users hearing about it slowly. Like we're here and we're talking about it. We're like here since day one, many of us, and we know about it. But I mean, a lot of people don't know about it yet. They're going to be hearing about it in the next weeks and even months. Like family dinners, friends, things like that. And then when you say to your family member or friend or that's not so much into crypto, doesn't know, like, where are you going to point them to? Are you going to say do it on Ethereum, or you can say do it on Binance, or you can say do it on Polygon or Avalanche? Oh,
Yeah,
so I would, you know, so I would suspect Polygon is going to keep doing what it's doing and have quite a it's gonna help it's gonna help uh
is just crushing it right now, just
yeah.
off the charts.
What's the latest number?
Haven't looked. I'm outside right now, but it's high.
What's the latest that you saw?
Gosh, I don't know. It's all mixing all together now the past couple weeks. Let me go look here.
Remember, it was like I think it hit the 3 million, right?
Yeah, if I
2.3.
correctly, the EAA went down like a full percentage point yesterday or close to it. I could be wrong though. Let's see here. Polygon global rank 4.4 million already. Yeah, it's already gone down 0.3 or 0.4 percentage points since I've been up for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. So it's going, man. This EAA is going to be done pretty
I
soon.
know.
Here.
I wonder if Jack, like as a developer and the coder, I wonder if in hindsight he's looking at it and he might think that maybe he should have uh changed the EAA number somewhat, because at the speed it's going, there'll be no more EAA.
I don't
Like
know. All right, it'll keep going, but
well, I mean it's a fixed counter, so it's not, how to say, like logarithmic or exponential. So it's basically just 100,000 per tick. Every 100,000 goes down 0.1. So it means that by the time it reaches, is that 100? No, 10 million, 10 million, right? It'll be done. Well, I guess he probably wanted that because he said he was aiming for 100 million. So I guess it's a bonus for the first 10% of wallets. Although on Ethereum, it's a different story.
It just makes it so interesting how the you know on one chain the EA is kaput, and on the other one it's still chugging along. It's so nice to see the different variants of Zen evolving at the same time. There's something neat about that omni chain experience.
I mean the EAA helps, but it's really insignificant isn't the right word, but it doesn't make a huge difference in the overall outlook of the whole thing. It's just a small bonus for people who get the net who get going early on.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
I mean, is it? Yeah, BSC. BSC had a one day head start on Polygon, and Poly whew, just screamed right past it. It's gonna win the race, I think, as far as the EAA goes.